Let's take you through the grid for the Mini Max and Mini Rookie final. On pole position, Jacob Ashcroft starts from the inside of the front row. Lieke van Berkel makes a great start. Well, will have a great starting position on the outside of the opening row alongside the 122 from the United Kingdom. It's Thomas Verheyen from Belgium and Jack Freeman from the UK rounding out the top two rows. It's the UK and Belgium again. This time it's Rory Armstrong starting from fifth and Lars Lambers to his outside on P6. Vic van Kampenhout from Belgium will be on the inside of row 4. Joining him from Denmark will be the 165 of Finn Albert Jorgensen. Bran van der Weken and Maria Roberto round out the top 10, followed by Tristan Shays, Victor Reutz, Georges Desmet, and then Pauline van Preet, Jeff Verbeek, Leon Herbols, one of just a couple of Qatari representatives here this weekend. Saif Al-Obadili, and then Tristan Abiels from Belgium completes the top, the 18-strong grid as we'll go into our formation lap ahead of 13 minutes plus 1 lap of racing at this 1.45-kilometre circuit here at Racing Kart JPR in Ostricourt in northern France. The drivers now exit out of the final corner. Red lights on the gantry. So, are we ready? Are we steady? The last Minimax race gets underway right now as we head into turn number 1. And Lieke van Berkel has stormed her way into the lead from the outside of the front row. Two karts run very, very wide, one of which is Jacob Ashcroft. He's all the way down in around 9th position, maybe even make that at the bottom part of the top 10. Lars Lambers goes for the lead. Through goes Thomas Verheyen on Lieke van Berkel. Three wide as Vic van Kampenhout goes to the outside of Rory Armstrong. Van Berkel goes back into 3rd position. Through the exit of turn number 4, the race is quite clearly on. Ashcroft back past Bran van der Weken. Someone's already gone off the circuit a little bit further back. I'm not too sure who that was, but it was an OTK chassis. Oh, bit of a drama there. That was Maria Roberto and possibly Bran van der Weken that have just dropped to the back end of the field. There's a moment there for Rory Armstrong as Vic van Kampenhout goes up the inside of the youngster from Northern Ireland on the approach into the hairpin at the top right-hand corner of the circuit. Looks like Armstrong went 2 wheels onto the grass on the left-hand side and lost all that traction. And we have a new race leader at the front of the start of the opening lap. Lars Lambers, Thomas Verheyen, Lieke van Berkel, Vic van Kampenhout up to 4th place. Rory Armstrong 5th. Finn Albert Jorgensen being now hotly pursued by Jacob Ashcroft. Van Berkel up the inside of Verheyen. Ashcroft up the inside of Finn Albert Jorgensen. They both make up places, so Van Berkel up to 2nd position. And now Jacob Ashcroft up to 6th place behind Rory Armstrong. Three-way battle for 2nd between Van Berkel, Verheyen and Van Kampenhout. Verheyen looks up the inside. Van Berkel drifts wide. Van Kampenhout gets through for 3rd. Now joining the back of the train here behind Jacob Ashcroft, who goes very, very close to the inside in the approach into the hairpin. Van Berkel gets passed by Armstrong. Ashcroft looks one way, looks to try and get the undercut. Through in the meantime, past Vic van Kampenhout tries to go. Rory Armstrong, but the Belgian holds his ground on the Formula K chassis. Frantic hand gestures from the mechanics gantry, just looking into the final corner. And now Armstrong up the inside on Van Kampenhout. Van Berkel gets through. So does Jacob Ashcroft. Now he's looking for another position into turn 3. Looks up the inside of the 185 from the Netherlands. He gets through. Jorgensen looking to try and get past Van Berkel as well, but unable to get through on the exit of turn number 3. Lars Lambers continues to lead the way as we're over halfway through our 3rd lap. And moment there for Vic van Kampenhout and Lieke van Berkel. Finn Albert Jorgensen drifts wide. Jack Freeman looking for an opportunity to get through on the 165. And now Ashcroft manages to get through on Rory Armstrong, and that is a change for what will now be 3rd on the road, I believe. And that is the case because Lambers still leads. Verheyen, Ashcroft, Armstrong, Van Berkel, Van Kampenhout, Jorgensen, Freeman. Victor Reutz is now in 9th. Tristan Shays completes the top 10. Ashcroft looks to the inside, coming out of turn 2. Hard on the brakes, steep on the brakes into turn number 3. Runs a little bit wide, but manages to cut the door off, not allowing Thomas Verheyen to go through. Rory Armstrong is still keeping with them. The lead that Lars Lambers has at the moment is quite slender at its very best, but with the pace that Jacob Ashcroft has had, as now Rory Armstrong launches it up the inside of Thomas Verheyen. Now through into 3rd goes the youngster from County Down in Northern Ireland. Does the old tap the side of the race helmet, does Rory Armstrong, as if to say, come on, think. Sometimes it's not necessarily a gesticulation to the driver behind you, but it's sometimes about trying to focus yourself. So he's running in a genuine P3, is the youngster from Northern Ireland, ahead of the 180 and the 185 of Verheyen and Van Berkel. That's 3rd, 4th and 5th, respectively. Verheyen will get the run coming out of turn 2, but keep your eyes on the 185 from the Netherlands. Lieke van Berkel got a double toe, but Ashcroft now finally retakes the lead within the first quarter of the 5th lap of this race. Gets through on Lars Lambers. Ashcroft has put in the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 1.704. But still very tightly packed from 3rd to 5th. Armstrong, Verheyen and Van Berkel. Van Kampenhout is catching though, bringing along Finn Albert Jorgensen and Jack Freeman. Verheyen goes defensive, gets a touch from behind, courtesy of Lieke van Berkel. Nearly runs into the back of Rory Armstrong, but the youngster from Northern Ireland manages to keep himself out of harm's way. That could have been a lot worse than what it actually was. We got yellow flags at the hairpin at the top right-hand corner. Someone now starting to rejoin the circuit. That's the number 98 of Leon Herbos. But still, the battle for P3 is really heating up. Verheyen and Van Berkel looking up the inside of Armstrong. Verheyen gets through, Van Berkel does not. Van Kampenhout has got Finn Albert Jorgensen to the inside through into turn 4. The Dane gets through on the Belgian. That's now a positional change for 5th. Or maybe make that 6th. But Thomas Verheyen now leading the battle for P3. And Vic van Kampenhout, slight touch between him. Left front to right rear between him and Finn Albert Jorgensen. And Jack Freeman is just keeping very, very patient. Vic van Kampenhout into the right-hand hairpin at the top right-hand corner, now gets through, retakes the position off of Finn Albert Jorgensen, who has, right up his exhaust pipe, Jack Freeman. Jacob Ashcroft now is starting to do what has been customary all the way through the race weekend. Finn Albert Jorgensen side by side, wheel to wheel with Vic van Kampenhout through turn 1. Now the run up to turn 2. The Dane still trying to keep it pinned. Rory Armstrong back up the inside of Thomas Verheyen to try and take back 3rd position. But did he get through? No, he didn't. He dropped behind Lieke van Berkel, but through turn 6, the Northern Irishman got back through into 4th. Some great wheel-to-wheel battling in this Mini-Max and Mini-Rookie final, the last one of the day and of the weekend. A little bit further back, there's Tristan Shays battling away with the likes of Victor Reutz and Jeff Verbeek, and they've got Joris Desmay, I think, just behind them. Thomas Verheyen, in the meantime, has started pulling away from both Rory Armstrong and Lieke van Berkel. Ashcroft's going to now complete lap number 7. His gap was nearly 1.1 seconds. It's now nearly 1.5 seconds. And the fastest lap of the race for Jacob Ashcroft was completed on lap number 6, a 1 minute 1.514. Lieke van Berkel closing in on Rory Armstrong, now pulls alongside to the right-hand side of the 166 and gets through. In the meantime, Jack Freeman looking every which way but loose, trying to get through on Finn Albert Jorgensen to take the mini rookie class lead with 5.25 minutes remaining. So 8 minutes down, 5 to go, plus 1 lap to conclude the Mini-Max and Mini-Rookie competition here at the 3rd and penultimate round of the BNL Karting Series for 2023. Finn Albert Jorgensen leading the way in terms of the Mini-Rookie classification in this race, but Jack Freeman has been the tour de force and looks to have extended his gap between himself and the competitors behind him. Vic van Kampenhout keeps it pinned to the inside, heading into turn 1. Lieke van Berkel looking to try and get through on Thomas Verheyen. Rory Armstrong has to really hit the anchors hard going through into turn 3 to not cause any problems. Oh, Tristan Shays is off. The 113 out of the kart. And there is the one. Oh, no. Victor Reutz looks to be out. So that has changed the complexity of the bottom part of the top 10. So that will promote Jeff Verbeek, Georges Desmais up to 9th and 10th respectively. Battle for 3rd still very much undecided with 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the timer, plus an additional lap still to go here at Austricourt. Ashcroft leading by nearly 2.5 seconds. Finn Albert Jorgensen is he's like a dog with a toy. He won't let it go. He's trying to get through on Vic van Kampenhout. He could accidentally open the door. There goes Lieke van Berkel up the inside of Thomas Verheyen. She retakes 3rd position. And the gap is starting to expand further than 2 seconds between 2nd and 3rd place. Jacob Ashcroft in full clean air. 1 minute 1.440 for the youngster from Dan Holland Racing. And Thomas Verheyen looking to again try and get past Lieke van Berkel, but she has really put in a fantastic performance so far in this final. So is Vic van Kampenhout, who's currently in 6th, ahead of Finn Albert Jorgensen, and has been able to keep the young Dane at bay. Along with that, they've got Jack Freeman for close company. But look at what's happening here. 3rd, 4th and 5th are being closed in by the remainder of the top 8. Top 8 covered by 6.2 seconds. Rory Armstrong in the slipstream behind Thomas Verheyen. Verheyen trying to go towards the inside, was not close enough to Lieke van Berkel, and Rory Armstrong looks towards the outside, through into turn 4, can't get the undercut. Just behind them, Vic van Kampenhout is about 3 to 4 kart lengths behind. Oh, a little bit of a slight touch between Thomas Verheyen and Rory Armstrong. Armstrong through, Van Kampenhout goes through, Verheyen counter-attacks through the next left-hander. Van Kampenhout also tries to find his way through, but is denied at the last moment possible. Jack Freeman right behind Vic van Kampenhout and has got past Finn Albert Jorgensen. So Freeman now with the minute and 40 on the clock, plus an additional lap remaining, holds on to the Mini-Max rookie class lead. Lap 11 completed, lap 12 ongoing as we speak. Jack Freeman trying to get the whole shot and get the run of momentum on Vic van Kampenhout. He's right behind the 124, heading through into turn number 3. And now Lieke van Berkel has bolted. She's away and clear ahead of Rory Armstrong, who sits in 4th ahead of Thomas Verheyen. Now joining them are these trio: Vic van Kampenhout, Jack Freeman and Finn Albert Jorgensen from Denmark. Less than 60 seconds to go. Van Kampenhout, oh, a little bit of a touch between him and Thomas Verheyen. Verheyen 2 wheels into the air and he's backwards 180 degrees, pointing in the other direction of the circuit. Verheyen Well, you can see the disappointment after that. And now it's getting even more fraught there. Vic van Kampen out. Again, swapping positions with Finn Albert Jorgensen, the 124, losing a couple of positions as a result of that slight contact with Thomas Verheyen, who's dropped quite a bit of a way down the order as a result of that incident. But Jack Freeman now ahead of Vic van Kampenhout and is sitting in 5th position. More importantly, he's on course for hitting the top step of the mini rookie podium this afternoon. Timer now hits 0. We are on lap number 13 of this race, and the next time around it will be the final lap of these two classes race weekend here in Oost-Ricourt. Finn Albert Jorgensen looking to try and get through on Vic van Kampenhout, but that's easier said than done. Our race leader, Jacob Ashcroft, takes the last lap board as he goes through turn 1 for what will be the 14th and final time. His lead is now increased to the point of just under 5 seconds and a new fastest lap. Now Rory Armstrong trying to keep a hold of 4th position at the moment. Finn Albert Jorgensen trying to get through on Vic van Kampenhout. Look to the outside at turn number 4. Not able to facilitate the move because he was not far enough alongside. And even at that point on the circuit, it does close on in terms of the tarmac and also the exterior runoff area. So 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th head into the hairpin at the top right-hand corner for the final time. But our race leader, Jacob Ashcroft, now crosses the start-finish line. It's the clean sweep for the 122. Lars Lambers gets his best result of the weekend in 3rd position. Lieke van Berkel takes 3rd place. Great job by the young lady from the Netherlands. Rory Armstrong takes 4th. Vic van Kampenhout 5th. Jack Freeman takes 6th, and with it the provisional Mini Max Rookie victory, and it's been 4 for him so far this weekend. So well done to the 193 from Dan Holland Racing, who turns 9 next week whilst the family is on holiday, and a well-deserved one after their busy schedule. Finn Albert Jorgensen takes 7th. Bran van der Weken, Jeff Verbeek and Georges Desmet round out the top 10. Thomas Verheyen in 11th, Pauline van Preet, Maria Roberto, Saif Obadili from Qatar, with Leon Herbols and Tristan Abils due to cross the line to finish in 16th, a lap down, but never mind, he made it to the checkered with Victor Reutz and Tristan Shays out on lap 8.